You suspect that your doctor did something wrong that caused you significant harm. And now you go to an attorney and the attorney says, listen, before I investigate, I want you to go ahead and get your medical records and then bring them to me. Is that right? Do you want to learn what the normal procedure is? Come join me as I share with you this great information. Hi, I'm Gerry Oginski. I'm a New York medical malpractice and personal injury trial lawyer practicing law here in the state of New York. Let me share with you what most good attorneys do here in the state of New York. If you have what sounds to be like a valid medical malpractice case, the attorney who's now evaluating this is going to do a number of things. They're going to have you sign permission slips which will allow them to go ahead and get copies of your medical records. They will have you sign a retainer agreement, which means that you're giving them permission to go ahead and investigate your case. Now, once the attorney does that, he is now going to invest whatever is necessary to evaluate, to obtain your medical records, and then get those records over to a medical expert so that now he can get a full evaluation to determine, number one, whether there were violations from the basic standards of medical care. Number two, whether those violations or departures from good medical care resulted in injury, that's known as causation, and what type of injury, whether they were significant or permanent. And in fact, in New York, we are required to have a medical expert confirm each one of those three elements before we're able to confirm that we have a valid basis for a case and proceed with a lawsuit. So now, if you go to an attorney and the attorney says, hey, listen, I don't know whether you have a case here or not. I want you to make the effort and energy and take your resources and go to the doctor's office, go to the hospital and get those medical records yourself, which basically means the attorney doesn't want to pay for it out of his own pocket. He wants you to go do that. Now he brings the records into you. Then what happens? Well, now the attorney may turn around and say, hey, listen, if you want me to evaluate your records, you pay me the fee that the doctor, the medical expert, is now going to charge me to get your records reviewed. Now, should you do that? Well, there's a number of different answers to that question. But more importantly, you will find that most experienced attorneys who do this on a regular basis, number one, they're first going to screen the call to determine whether there is the possibility that you have a valid case. If they determine that there is the possibility you have a valid case, they'll likely invite you into the office, spend a great deal of time with you learning more details, and then go ahead and get permission to get your records, and the attorney's office will then go ahead and invest to get all of your records that's necessary to properly evaluate it. They will pay for the medical expert fee. They will pay for the records. You want to know why they do that? Because it's an investment. If it turns out that you have a valid case, now they'll tell you about it. Say, listen, our expert confirms we have a case. We are now going forward, and now they'll prosecute the case. But in this scenario, the question that I raised, if an attorney turns around and says, hey, I want you to get the records, you got to pay the fee for getting the expert review, why do you need the attorney? Literally, why do you need the attorney except to tell you which expert to go to? You don't. That's the reality here. You see, when you go to an attorney, you shouldn't be the one taking all these steps to do all the things necessary that the attorney should be doing. We should be making your life a bit easier. You're already in a bad situation, and now you need to know, do you have a valid basis to proceed forward with a lawsuit? So my goal as an attorney who handles these types of cases every day is to make your life easier, to take away that burden from you so you don't have to get involved in the day-to-day activity of what's involved in evaluating and prosecuting a valid case. So why do I share this great information with you? I share it with you to give an insight and an understanding to what goes on in the litigation process when evaluating a possible medical malpractice case here in the state of New York. You know, I realize you're watching this because you probably have questions or concerns about your own particular matter. Well, if your matter did happen here in New York and you do have legal questions, what I encourage you to do is pick up the phone and call me. You know, I answer questions like yours every single day, and I'd love to talk to you. You can reach me at 516-487-8207 or by email at Gerry, Gerry, at oginski-law.com. That's it for today's quick video. I'm Gerry Oginski. Have a great day.